Hello students and welcome to English with Teacher Dixon. Today I would like us to delve into the monofones of English language, particularly the description of the monofones of English language. You already know that we have 20 vowel sounds in English language and they are divided into 12 monofones and 8 diphthongs. So we want to focus specifically on the monophthongs. That's the single vowel sounds, otherwise known as the pure vowel sounds. And I want to illustrate it with a chart so as to show you the actual description of each of the sounds and also how to articulate or produce each of them. All right, so let's look at what we have on the board. English pure vowel chart. We have a diagram here, and on this diagram we have two sides, the horizontal lines and the vertical lines. So this diagram represents the movement of the tongue during the production of any vowel sound. And before I explain this, let me remind you of what I had already explained in my video, that the criteria for describing any vowel sound include the duration, that is, whether the sound is sustained when articulated or not. Again, we have the position or part of the tongue involved in the articulation of the sound. Thus, we have front, back, or central part of the tongue, depending on the part of the tongue used in the articulation of the sound. Again, we have the height of the tongue. The height of the tongue has to do with whether the tongue is raised towards the roof of the mouth or lowered. And also, we have the shape of the lips. When you say any particular sound, the lips, you form a shape. So the shape of the lips also constitute the description of any vowel sound. So considering the 12 monophthongs of English language, we have this shape. So the horizontal line represents the part of the tongue involved in the articulation of any sound. Then the vertical line represents the height of the tongue. So the tongue is like this in the mouth, and when you say a sound, it is either it is raised towards the roof of the mouth or it is lowered. Again, we have different parts of the tongue ranging from the tip of the tongue, that is the front part of the tongue, to the middle of the tongue, to the back of the tongue. So when a sound is produced with the help of the front part of the tongue, that's to say the front part of the tongue is raised or lowered, we describe such sound as front vowel sound. If the middle of the tongue, that is the central part of the tongue, is raised or lowered, we call it central or mid vowel sound. If the back of the tongue is raised or lowered, we describe it as the back vowel sound. Now, looking at this diagram, we have the front part of the tongue, the central part of the tongue, and the back part of the tongue. So this is not the actual diagram of the tongue, but it's only showing you the direction of the tongue when you articulate any sound. And the sounds, the monophthongs of English language, are arranged here according to the parts or the organs in the mouth used in the articulation. All right, so looking at these parts, we have the front sounds ranging from E to A to A. Okay, a sound is missing here. Let me include the sound. Now let's approach it squarely. the front vowel sounds first. It ranges from the E, A, and R. These four sounds are arranged this way because this is the front part of the tongue. And then we have the central part, which is the middle of the tongue. We have three sounds. These three sounds are described as mid-vowel sounds or central vowel sounds in English language because the middle of the tongue or the central part of the tongue is involved in the articulation. So we have and R. Then we have five other sounds by this side. These are the back vowel sounds. The back vowel sounds, ranging from vowel number 5, which is R, O, U, U. These are back vowel sounds. So this is how to categorize the monophthongs of English language into the different parts of the tongue used in the articulation. So we have 4 front sounds, 3 central sounds, and 5 back sounds. Then let's also consider the next description or the next criterion for the description of vowel sound, which is height of the tongue. That's when we consider the vertical aspect of the diagram. So in the diagram we have high, mid-high, mid-low, and low. These are the actual descriptions for the monophthongs of English language based on the height of the tongue. So if you have any sound falling around this area of the diagram, those sounds are known as high vowel sounds or close vowel sounds. It is called high vowel sound because the tongue is raised towards the roof of the mouth. We can also call it close vowel sounds because the tongue is raised close to the roof of the mouth. Then there are 4 in number. We have E, A, U, and U. Those are the front vowel sounds, front high vowel sound, or you call it high front vowel sound. Now, we have mid-high, which is the A sound. A sound is mid-high because it is in between mid and high. You have it here at the position. Then after that, we also have mid-vowel sound, only one as just like the mid-high, which is the schwa sound, which is the shortest vowel sound in English language. Then we have the mid-low. The mid-low is the sound and the o sound. Look at the position in between mid and low based on the height of the tongue. And lastly, the low vowel sounds, which include the R, O, and R. These are low vowel sounds, 4 in number. Okay, so having considered the part or position of the tongue involved in the articulation of monophthongs and also the height of the tongue. Now the next criterion is the shape of the lips. So the front vowel sounds and the mid vowel sounds are all articulated with an unrounded shape of the lip, whereas 4 of the back vowel sounds are articulated with a rounded shape of the lip. Then here it is represented graphically with this shape. This indicates the shape of the lips during the articulation of the sound, particularly the rounded shape of the lips. These ones without this particular mark are articulated with unrounded shape of the lips, whereas these 4 with the mark are articulated with a rounded shape of the leaf. So the next thing I'd like you to note here, which is very important, is the first criterion in the description of vowel sounds, which is duration. The long vowel sounds are always indicated by the use of a colon immediately after the phonetic symbol. Looking at all these sounds in the chart, some have a colon immediately after that symbol, whereas others do not have. So we have up to 5 long vowel sounds here, ranging from E to to R, O, and U. Those are long vowel sounds. That's why we have a colon immediately after the phonetic symbol. Then we have 7 other sounds that are short, and here we don't represent them with any colon. Now, let's look at the actual description of each of these pure vowel sounds. Looking at what we have here, we have the pure vowel sounds, that's the monofones of English language, arranged orderly, chronologically from number 1 to 12, ranging from the 4 front vowels to the 5 back vowels and then the 3 central vowels. All right, so let's consider the description of each of them. E is described as long high front spread vowel. Then A is described as short high front unrounded vowel. A is described as short mid high front unrounded vowel. Number 4, which is R, is described as short low front unrounded vowel. Number 5, which is R, is described as long low back unrounded vowel. Number 6, which is O, is described as short low back rounded vowel. Number 7, which is O, is described as long mid low back rounded vowel. And number 8, which is U, is described as short high back rounded vowel. Then number 9, which is U, is long high back rounded vowel. Then number 10, which is R, is described as short low central unrounded vowel. Then number 11, which is is described as long mid low central unrounded vowel. And the last, or by no means the least, is which is short mid central unrounded vowel. And these are graphically represented in this diagram. See the arrangement: the front sound, the mid sound, and the back sound, and also the high sound, the mid high, the mid sound, mid low, and then the low sound. Also, we have the shape of the lips. These are the rounded sounds, whereas all these are the unrounded sounds. Thank you very much for watching this video. I remain Teacher Dixon.